You are listening to Fantha Tracks.
Because of the following special program, Wonder Woman and the Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
It's time to get all your Star Wars news in a single file. This is Making Tracks. Here are your hosts, Mark Newbold and Mark Mulcaster.
That's not true. That's impossible.
You're listening to Making Tracks. I'm Mark Newbold. We're at Droid Builders UK 2022. And joining me today for a very sunny episode, sitting outside Harper Adams University, near a place called Loggerheads. We're not at Loggerheads, but we're near Loggerheads, near Newport, is Matt Booker. Matt, welcome to the show.
We're just north of Telford. I had to get my shots coming this far north.
Yeah, this is north. This is proper north for you, isn't it?
Well, it's Midlands, but yeah, it's north for me.
The weather's been glorious. It's been roasting hot for the last 2 days. We're sitting out the back. It's reasonably quiet. It's mid-afternoon on Sunday. Yeah. What have you made of the show so far? Have you enjoyed it?
I've not been before to the big event they do. Loads of Astromechs.
Yeah.
It's a Star Wars event. It's a private event. The best thing I've seen, somebody's built a Johnny No. 5 from Short Circuit. I nearly been cried.
I know. I saw
Childhood
the picture.
hero. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a Dalek here. There's a lot of Astromechs. There's a lot of R2s. There's some different... There's an L3.
Choppers.
There's some choppers.
There's a BB-8.
And there's part-built droids, and Mike Berry's bought his mega-sized R2 here. And it's just a bunch of fans having a bit of fun. It's just a nice, easy-going event. We've just spent the weekend chit-chatting with people. Had a good chat with Brian Hare about some projects he's worked on.
Yeah.
You interviewed him yesterday. Who's the other guy you interviewed yesterday?
It was Henrik. So Henrik did a lot of the paint work. He did a lot of the paint work and weathering on droids, creatures, all sorts of stuff. So we had a fascinating chat about the process. So
has he worked on all new Disney films?
Yeah. So he'd worked on Potter series. He worked on Prometheus, like a lot of the guys that came into Star Wars at that time period did. Neil Scandon saw his work and was absolutely blown away by it, to the degree that they'd never met. And when they met for the first time, Neil Scandon hugged him and said, "I love your work."
Oh, really?
Basically, like, we've got to work together.
Yeah, straight in just because his work was that good. Yeah.
Totally. So sadly, we would have loved to have recorded the talks and brought them to you. But as Matt just said, this is a private event, so it's not a public event. So they did ask that we're not. It's for the club members only, which is fair enough. So there's some good stuff.
There was an amazing quiz last night with an insane... I mean... We can't talk who was on the screen.
That was cool.
And I did quite well in there. I was stood listening when I arrived last night. And I got a good lot of the questions right. And there were some real left field ones he did.
There were some clever questions.
Yeah.
The one I liked the most, actually because it was myself, Lee Towersey was involved. Brian was he organised the quiz and was reading them out. I was the adjudicator. And the one question was the reward for capturing Han Solo that the bounty hunters were offered. How much was the reward? And of course, naturally, you're going to think a number, but of course, the reward was substantial. And I just thought that was such a clever question.
Yes.
And there was a few he'd peppered in there like that. But yeah, like as you say, 100 questions. It was a couple of hours, but it was like a really great couple of hours.
Yeah.
And at the end, it was a sort of a spur decision because it was fairly close. 9 teams, but it was actually the top 3 were fairly close. And we decided to have a final bonus question. I think between the 4th place team and the top team, there was 20.5 points.
Yeah.
But we decided to make the final question 20 points. Yeah. And blow me, the team that was 4th, got the question right. Yeah. So they lost out by half a point.
Oh, really?
Which just made it so much more fun. So yeah, really good fun.
Good
great
food.
Vibe. Good food.
Good beer.
Yeah, very good beer.
Great company. Really good event.
Definitely great company. We've got a bit of interview from different people to fold into this episode. First things first, we spoke to Giles Redpath. He's one of the guys involved in organising all this. Yeah. Just had a chat with him in the main hall, so a nice bit of ambience and maybe a fan, because we needed a fan. There's a slamming door. We needed a fan. Let's talk about ambience. We needed a fan because it's roasting hot in this place. Yeah. So it's me talking to Giles from Droid Builders UK. So we're here at Droid Builders UK 2022. I'm here with Giles.
G'day.
How has your weekend been? Because it's been a busy one.
It's been an extremely busy one. We've been here, this is August, the second time we've been here.
Yep.
We came back here in 2019, planning to come in 2020. However, due to a certain situation we all know about, we had to cancel, and this is the first time we've been able to book this place again. Absolutely amazing new venue, bigger hall. Yep. So we've got 2 big halls today. As you're seeing at the moment, we've been able to get our 2 droid tracks in there as well. So we've got the ALT track, egg track racing, and also the Astromech Droid racing as well. Absolutely amazing venues for it. And next door as well, we've got some droid building going, 3D printing. Lots of people have brought their droids in, which is fantastic. Some are 3D printed, some are made out of metal, some are made out of wood. Absolutely amazing. So as you can see around the hall, we've got loads of the droids around the room. Absolutely fantastic venue again this year. Unfortunately, the weather's a bit hot for us.
Oh, it's too unacceptable weather for the British.
Oh, absolutely. Where's the rain? We need the rain, absolutely. So, but it's a lovely venue in Shropshire for us, definitely.
In terms of the sorts of droids that are here, you mentioned the different materials that are used to make the different droids. So people who don't know how a droid building group would work, yours or globally, because we've got listeners all over, what are the criteria, one being a member and two getting a droid in?
To be a member, you just need to be a human being.
Okay.
You don't have to have any experience, no skills at all. I mean, I work in HR. I had no clue when I started in 2010. It took me 2 years to build my droid. Lots of questions to people who knew about it, and we were very helpful in that sort of way. If you know nothing, absolutely fantastic group to join. You can start from the beginning. You can either build the items yourself. If you're craftsman, carpenter or something, you can make it out of wood. We've got a few here who are carpenters who build things like that themselves. We do build it out of aluminium, and it's prefabricated with companies we ask to make it, so we do a batch of fabrication in that way, things like the metal domes or the skins and things like that are made, and the frames as well. We do runs for that as well, the group, so 10 of us might get together to do a run. So you don't need the kind of experience on that side of it. We're all very helpful. You ask lots of questions. We've got a Facebook group, we've got a Droid Builders UK web page as well, where lots of the information is about it, and it also links to other groups as well. We've got the MB group as well, which is a 3D printing group, which is if you're in 3D printing as well, don't know much about that, join that group. Fantastic, they give you lots of information. Sam Prentice has also got on YouTube, and he's got amazing, so he looks at all the printers and things like that, also a great source of information. So anything you're told to, but have a look at droidbuilders.uk, because that site has information and links to where you need to go to find out about things. Join the groups, have a look, ask questions, and we can help you build one. I built mine for my autistic son. In 2010 we went to Marwell Zoo, and there was an open day there, Dreamcasters. I didn't know at the time, but Lee had his droid there, which was amazing, and my son just fell in love with him, wouldn't leave him alone, cried when we walked away from it, was talking to him. I thought, oh, that's interesting, I assume we can build it. So I googled it and found the groups and started building, and after 2 years we got it built. Unfortunately, after 2 years my son wasn't interested in it anymore. So it's my toy now type of thing, so it started from there. But I took him to hospitals and to schools and things. The hospitals is a great place to do it, because the smiles on the faces as you walk through them on that side of it was absolutely amazing. But it's a great kind of environment to get into and sort of do those sort of things, and that's where the charity stuff started, really.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, there's some nice buckets here. You've been doing very well at filling them over the weekend. Give us a bit of info on that.
Well, absolutely. So MNDA, we've been supporting the MNDA this year. We've raised money over the last 2 years for someone called Pedge, who was a C-3PO character. He did the character over that side. Unfortunately, he died in December for MNDA. It still hurts quite a lot that he did die. Great man. He did a lot for the community and everybody. He helped out anybody. And we had a C-3PO here today, a silver one. And the lady who did that, Sarah, she got a lot of help from Pedge to help her build her costume. And she wore it for the first time here, which is absolutely amazing. He helps out. He's done a lot of community work on that side of it. And we're raising money for his charity to try and help see if they can find a cure for this.
So that's motor neuron disease.
Motor neuron disease, sorry, yes. So we did a tombola this time round. Had loads of gifts being donated by people. People cleared out their cupboards of things that they had, Star Wars kind of items. And we sold a whole book of 500 tickets at £1 each,
On the first day, wasn't it?
On the first day. It cleared us out absolutely on the first day. So we've raised over £500 because we repeated some of the tickets, because we didn't have enough, more gifts than we had tickets for. So we had to reuse them. So we did more than £500 on that side. So that'll be going to the organisation. And we also sell stickers here, which also any stickers that we sell from here will go to, especially this one here, which is the best one. Highlight that one.
Yes, because Giles is on it.
But all money raised from there. Mike Berry is the printer who's printed those out for us, and we are selling those for charities on that side of it. Brilliant. So, I mean, over the weekend, I don't know what the total is yet, but we'll get to one point when we know how much we've raised overall. But absolutely amazing.
So you're thrilled with this? It's a great new room. I was here for 2019, and like you say, it was a nice room but smaller. This is more spacious and with the room to the side.
Absolutely.
The theatre that you used this time for the talks was great. We spoke to Brian Herring, obviously, and Henrik as well. So we had some good talks there, and other stuff that's been going on today. Is there going to be a 2023, or is it a biannual thing? What are your thoughts? What's the plan?
Potentially, we're probably going to do biannual. Next year, we've got Celebration in London, Excel, which we're all getting excited for, so we're prepping for that. I mean, there's a lot of organisation to get this kind of event running. It just doesn't happen like book it and let's go for it. We have a lot of organisation, and generally it takes about a year for us to book these types of things. But as we're doing the Celebration next year, which obviously come to London.
That's right.
Come and see as a celebration. We've got a bigger stand than last time. Those who came in 2016, we had queues around the block. But that time we're expecting queues around the block again for this year. So please come and see us there. But it'd be absolutely amazing.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for your time. We've really enjoyed the weekend. It's been great fun, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Good to have you here.
For everything in one location, daily news, reviews, interviews, podcasts, video, and social media feeds, bookmark FanthaTracks.com for Star Wars news 24/7, 365.
So we're here at, Harper Adams University.
Correct. Yep.
Near a place we found out earlier called Loggerhead. Is on the map.
Is it?
Loggerheads.
What a name.
We're
That's
at
great.
Loggerheads.
We're at Loggerheads.
Perfect. North of Telford.
Never with you, Mark. Never at Loggerheads with you.
I like the sound of that. That's brilliant. Hubert Lee, how has this weekend gone for you? Because we've really enjoyed it as Fantha trackers.
That's good to hear.
It's been busy and energetic, good talks.
Yep. Indeed.
How's it been for you?
It's been wonderful. Yeah. It's hard work. I can't deny it. The committee, there's Giles and Oliver and Sam and Mark and Nick and Darren and myself. I think I remembered everyone. And we've been talking about this since about March this year. Yeah. So there's a lot of prep that goes into it, a lot of hard work. You don't know where you're going to be this time of year, especially me.
True.
So I'm working on productions at the moment. So I'm busy at Pinewood, and then I've got to set up this event. But we're all busy, we're all doing stuff. But it's worth it. Yeah. Because thanks to you helping out as well, because you did some of the interviews, here with Henrik and Brian Herring. But it's been wonderful. It's turned out everyone's happy. Yeah. Everyone's having a lovely time. Plenty of compliments. That's what we do it for.
And when you do an event like this, other than it being a club event, to say it's a private club event essentially. Yeah. What are your hopes? What are your intentions when you get everyone together like this? Because we've noticed today, as you say, yesterday it was Henrik and Brian, and today has been more for us non-techies, more of a techie based. Is that the intention, to get people up to speed on new? I know you're talking all the time, but is that one of the things you want to do?
The main thing is to try and encourage new builders. Now, we can only encourage new builders if they actually physically come to this event. Yeah. So, of course, we try and promote from social media and so on to get new builders, and we're getting new people joining in all the time. Yeah. But it's a little bit like starting a new job. It's a bit intimidating. There's a hardcore group of like 50, 60 people, regulars. Yeah. And then you feel that you're the new person coming into this big group of people. Yeah. But we're such a welcoming group. I can assure everybody, and there's some new faces here this weekend. Yeah. And they've come up and said, thank you so much. I've just started building. Lovely to meet you all. When's the next one? Yes. So it is good to. The main thing here is to get new people involved and trying to encourage them to come to this event.
And you must love it when you get a new body come in. Somebody new comes in with maybe fresh ideas or maybe a bit of knowledge that you all look and go, hey, this kid's figured out a new way of doing this.
Absolutely.
Or doing this. You must dig that.
Absolutely. I've just heard about some new tech about half an hour ago, which is a good idea, which I would use in my own droid and maybe on the film droids, as well. Yes. So there's some new innovations. And we've got some very talented, CAD makers, and CNC machine operators. Yeah. So then we try and utilise that and get them making parts and designing parts for the group. Yeah. And they just share it all with us, which is great.
And is that a side of this building that has really come on leaps and bounds, the 3D printing side of it, that aspect?
Definitely, definitely. Michael Badley shares the files, for all the different droids that he does. He CADs them up and shares the files, and it's wonderful. I think it's made it more accessible for people. 3D printers are becoming more commonplace at home. Yeah. Yes, you've got to look after them, and they take a bit of work to get printing. Yeah. But if you want to make something, once you've got it printing, you just watch it print, and there it is. It's being made for you, rather than having to physically whittle material or cut material. It's doing it for you. You need to tidy it up afterwards and paint it and what have you. But I think 3D printing has gone leaps and bounds and really helped.
I'm Brian Herring, BB-8 puppeteer, and you're listening to Fantha Tracks. That'll learn you.
And since you first came on the film back in, 2013 when you first
2013, yeah, 9 years this year.
I was going to say 9 years. Yeah. What's the biggest advancement? Because I spoke to Neil, and he was saying, amongst many things, the miniaturisation of servos has been a huge thing for him. For you, what would you say has been the big thing?
Certainly CAD. CAD design technology and scanning and so on. Like if you've got creature performers now, We used to have to take life casts, which we still do sometimes.
Sure.
But now they can stand in a room. We scan them. And then next thing you push a button and we've got them full modelled into the computer.
Great. And
then we can build costumes and animatronic heads around them just on CAD software in computers. So computer technology for sure.
Yeah.
And again, I've had to learn CAD to keep up with, time and the way people may be more efficient.
Yeah.
So just computer CAD work really has just come on leaps and bounds and been implemented really well into the workshop.
And still bringing skillful people in, still bringing
absolutely
people with a good eye.
Yeah, the same people have progressed and moved with the times, thankfully.
Yeah.
And even though we've still got the talented clay sculptors, they've now learned a thing called ZBrush.
Right.
So they're literally sculpting with software.
Yeah.
So they computer generate heads, which we can then 3D print.
Right.
So we can then get an idea of a 3D printed model directly from their design, which we can then work out where all the servos go and so on.
So what's next for Droid Builders UK?
Droid Builders UK, so we weren't allowed to talk about it. Everybody knows about it, but we weren't allowed to talk about it as a committee.
Right.
But it's celebration now.
Yep.
So when we were having our DBUK Zoom chats up to this event, Oliver used to say, right, we're not talking celebration. We've got to focus on this. But then we always spent about half an hour at the end of the meeting talking about celebration. Of course we did. Yeah. So we've got big plans for celebration. We've got to submit a plan to read. And we're going to hopefully take the course and have plenty of displays, loads of droids, but we want to make it a bit more interactive for people. So we hope to have some hands-on droid operating and an explanation of how our droids work, exploded views of droids, what's going on inside them more, so people can get an idea and I fancy building one. Hopefully it won't look as intimidating, because when they're finished, they're like, how the hell do they build that? But with an exploded view and you can see inside, it simplifies it a little bit for people and makes it easy to explain. So, we hope to have a good display, as we always do.
You always do. And we're looking forward to seeing you there. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. Thanks, Lee.
Good stuff. Thanks for your time.
Back in Essen, 9 years ago, Essen. Can't believe that.
9 years.
Yeah. And we set up our
Caravan of the Force.
Do you remember me trying to park that van in that gap?
Yes, to me, to you, to me, to
about
you.
6 inches either side. Yeah.
On the day, what are we going to do with the cars? We're going to park them outside? No, let's put them in. Let's put them in our booth. Then people can see what we've done, because they've all followed it on StarWars.com and the whole social media.
How did we make that work?
We just got on and did it.
Oh man, that was crazy. When we parked the car,
we got it in there.
We got it in there.
100%.
Literally on the other side of the aisle was the droid building area, wasn't it? Where Kathleen Kennedy came along. And it was Ollie Steeples who was the one that stuck his hand up and said, why don't you get us to build the droids for your new Star Wars film?
Yeah.
He was the one. It's because he was so cheeky to say it.
He was.
A lot of these things that have come off the last sort of 10 years has happened. So bless him for that. So how are you, Oliver?
It's a hot day, hot weekend, a lovely weekend as well. I don't know how we manage it. So it's first proper R2 event since lockdown for the builders. We're at lovely Harper Adams University. We were previously here, I think, 3 years ago.
Yep.
And proper Scorchio this time.
It's been ringing wet this time, I would say, but really cool. Last time we had a nice room. This time you've got a really nice room. I mean, it's a bigger room, so obviously it's more useful for your purposes this time around. How did that come about?
So originally when we had Droid Builders in Peterborough, we knew immediately the venue was too small, given the number of droids that turned up. So we started looking for event or places, and I think I want to say Telford Comic Con was in the room we used last time.
Okay.
And one of the builders, Chris Williams, only lives down the road, so he suggested it as a venue, and we came, and the other room was sort of perfect for the time. And then at the end, we realised that through the linear growth, it was getting too big for a number of amount of droids.
Yeah.
So last time when we were here, it's like, what have you got that's bigger? And they showed us Student Union and the little annex, and we realised, yes, it's perfect for our requirements.
And so this time round, since 2019, like you say, how many new droids have been added? How many more things do you think is here?
COVID obviously had a lot of negatives, but it also had positives.
Yeah.
I call them COVID builds.
Yeah.
People have been at home, just been bored. It's like, what do we do? Could build a droid. And you see so many droids now that have been built in the past sort of 2.5 years, and I say gradually coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of new builders as well as old builders this weekend, which is good that the club is still growing after 25 years.
Yeah, it's crazy to think it's that long. In terms of advancements, new things that come onto the scene, what has stood out to you as being the most innovative thing that's come out, let's say in the last 3 years since the last show?
technology and everything is always evolving. There's a lot more 3D printed droids this year, and you look in the whole prop community, it's not just droids, it's everything, and it's changed both the special effects industry as a whole as well as droid builders. And then you've got other trends like microprocessors, Arduinos are coming on leaps and bounds, moving away from like brushed motors to brushless motors. And every time we see something clever, it's like Stuart Winstanley this weekend, for example, has got an R4 dome. It's just like really simple. It's like on his aerial, he's put a spring. So if the aerial gets knocked, it just springs back. And it's just like, how have we not done this in 25 years? A simple spring. And it's just like so simple. And it's just, and then on the other hand, we've got someone who's got a little LED light cluster and it's got like 79 LEDs on it. It's just something that small. And technology is always advancing.
When you advance that technology, is your hope to run longer, run smoother, less problems, or is it to continually strive, I'm guessing it's both, to get more screen accurate as much as you can?
There's a number of different approaches and reasons. So majority of the R2 builders are very technical. So you'll always push yourself, because I always push myself in builds. It's like, what can I do? What can I do to challenge myself? Then we also get new builders who don't know as much that we sort of like teach. They learn skills over the entire build. But then we have people like Robert Jackson, Ian Hughes in a group, Mark Kiger, who are looking back at the original R2. And it's sort of like, okay, how was that made? And we're looking back at the original blueprints from like Peterick, John Steers, trying to recreate an original R2 to A New Hope specs before it was even retrofitted for Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, wow, okay.
So you've got what's brand new, but also the whole retro. And amazing to look back to see that original R2 that you would never build a droid like that now because it's completely wrong.
Oh, wow. That must have been a fascinating bit of sort of archaeology almost, digging back into that.
Yeah, because over the past 10 years, I've started looking more at the archaeology of R2-D2, interviewed people who were involved with original Star Wars, Empire, retrofits, then the sort of prequels. It's great to have their experience, and then sort of what Lee and myself have done with the new films, and sort of like putting it all together. I think, as you'll know, interviewing people from Star Wars in the past, you have a lot of people who are completely unknown, but had so much impact to Star Wars. Typically have heads of departments who are well known, like John Steers, but then you have a whole team of people behind them that are almost completely unknown and don't get a recognition they deserve. And that's one of the things we're trying to do with the Open R2 project, is to get more of these unknown people recognised.
2022 is happening right now. Next year's celebration. 2024 will bring Droid Builders back for another show?
Yeah, so I had a chat to the guys earlier. Obviously, money is tight during COVID, and while it would be lovely to have another Droid Builders event next year, I think it's unreasonable to ask everyone to do an event in April and then again in August.
Well, that sounds fantastic. We've really had a great time here. We've really enjoyed it, and thanks for all the hospitality, and we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, see you next time.
So yeah, it was really great to chat with Ollie. He's just fantastic, an absolute wealth of knowledge of droid building. All the guys here, they really work together as a really good team and help each other out. And build a droid.
I don't know about you.
Problem solve and problem fix.
Exactly.
And,
I'm not hands-on tactile building things at all.
I break stuff. I don't know.
But I've had half a dozen people say, "Oh, Mark, you should give it a go. You'd be great. Just phone us up and we'll give you a hand."
I just break stuff and it infuriates me. If you could build me one, I'd give you £100. I'll have a mini Johnny Five. I would love it. He's like, "Oh yeah, you can build stuff." I said, "I built Lego when I was a kid." Everyone you speak to, all the R2 builders, they're just a lovely bunch of guys and girls who are here for the love of Star Wars.
Totally for the love of Star Wars. It's been great fun. As you say, very, very ambient atmosphere here. There's a car pulling up outside. There's vans around. There's kids riding past on bikes.
Yes.
We've been attacked by... now I can see why we're being attacked by wasps. There's a wasp nest up there.
Yeah.
Good grief, there's a wasp nest.
It's a great space to come and do, you, Mark.
Yeah, I really picked a good one here anyway. So here's me and Matt disappearing quickly before we get stung to bits.
Yeah.
From Droid Builders UK 2022. It probably won't be back in 23 because we've got Celebration.
Yeah, they said they're going to pause it for next year and come back the year after, because next year they're doing Celebration. They've already got plans for that. And
there you go.
Speaking to people at Celebration, there's some good plans coming together at that event. Loads.
So
yeah, out of the wasp nest, let's go back into the Sarlacc pit.
Let's just go before we get killed.
Yes. Brilliant idea.
Thanks for listening to Making Tracks. If you want to be part of the action and stay updated on all the latest Star Wars news, visit fanthatracks.com or check out the free Fanthatracks app through the App Store to follow us on your mobile device. You can reach out to us and send in your listeners' questions by emailing radio@fanthatracks.com. Comment, like and share on any of our social media feeds at Fanthatracks, and be sure to subscribe, leave a review, preferably a 5-star one, on Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcatcher or smart speaker of choice. And as always, thanks to James Semple for composing the Fanthatracks intro, Adam O'Brien for our Making Tracks opening music, and Mark Daniel and Vanessa Marshall for our voiceovers. Remember, tune in to Good Morning Tatooine. It's live Sunday evenings, 9 o'clock UK, 4 PM Eastern, 1 PM Pacific on Facebook and YouTube. And check out Fanthatracks radio episodes on Friday evenings at 7 o'clock UK time for new episodes of The Panther from Down Under, Planet Layer, Desert Planet Discs, Start Your Engines, Collecting Tracks, and Can Fodder. And we'll see you next time.
Coming up next on Fanthatracks Radio, it's Start Your Engines.